All right, good evening. Welcome to Divine Utterance. We're going to be talking about vision boards today. Before we get started, I'll introduce myself. My name is Lisa. On Facebook, I go by Lisa Mercury. That name I chose intuitively, and when I looked into it further, I recognized I'm a Leo. Mercury is friends with Leo and the sun. So that came out well. And on Instagram, I use Royal Lee, or It's Royal Lee, another play on the Leo energy. But I am the founder of Divine Utterance, which is my passion space. It's where I do all my wellness stuff. You can find me on Instagram under the handle Divine Utterance. I specialize in hair care. I also have wellness products like CMOS. And then there's this channel that I also operate for informational stuff on wellness and personal development and growth. So thank you for stopping by. I am a Reiki master, and I will be doing a little bit of Reiki before we get started. But I'm going to begin with what some would call a prayer. I'm going to call it a meditation. That's just to set the energy and the stage and connect my energy, ground my energy as well as yours. I'll be doing some smudging, and then we can get going. All right, so just to kind of clear the space for better learning, better communication, and for intention setting. How can you tell this is my favorite sage? I do have somebody here. I don't remember if I said it. I do have somebody here doing a vision board with me, but we'll go ahead and give you some. There you go. And we'll give you some. Just ground the energy. I love a sound bowl for that. Cleansing and when I start my Reiki, some practitioners like to start from the root and go up. I prefer to start from my crown and go down. From my crown down for me is how I bring my energy down into the ground and keep it secure and where I need it to be leveled. Get me out of my head. So Reiki, if you haven't learned or heard of Reiki before, it is just the harnessing of universal light energy for balance and wellness. And I don't know about other practitioners, but the minute I start talking about Reiki and I start centering myself, my hands get very nice and warm. Some people like to cover just the 7 chakras. I do all of my energy spaces. Yeah. Warm, right? I love it. It's awesome. We can talk about Reiki in another video.
Your hands are like boring.
Yeah. My hands get super duper hot, and I just take that as an affirmation that I haven't lost my light. So thank you for joining. The sage represents earth, the fire that I use to ignite. The sage is the fire element. Sound bowl, my wind, my breath, that is the wind element. And I always have water when I do teaching because I find that my throat gets dry, but it also helps me to bring in my water element. All of the elements are connected. We're all connected. The first thing I want to remind you when you're doing a vision board is that separation is an illusion. Why do I say that? I say that because what you're envisioning is not something outside of you. It's not something that you cannot have. It is something that you're capable of. It's something that you're worthy of. It's something that you're able to attract. So I give thanks to the Most High always. I give thanks to the Most High for keeping me. I give thanks to the Most High for creating this space and for allowing me to do this session with you. I give thanks to the Most High for bringing you here and for your presence, your energy, and sharing with me. I'm pretty sure I set the live up so that we can have guests. So if you would like to jump on with me, you are more than welcome. If not, you can go ahead and pop questions in the chat. I believe I enabled the chat so that I can see them. If I don't see your messages, however, you're welcome to just, if you know my friend Letitia, you're welcome to shoot her. She goes by Leah Ty on Facebook. You can shoot her a message and she can always read it for me just in case I don't see things that people may be wanting to talk about or ask about as we go. And if you don't have a way of reaching me because you don't know how to reach her or me, then we can talk about it after this live is over. That's no problem at all. Just write down your questions. Separation being an illusion, all things are connected. We're all connected by universal light source, by the Creator, by the Most High, the Creator of all things. The Creator created us, and because the Creator created us with that breath of life that keeps us alive, that breath is what allows us to create things. I'll get into that a bit more. But one of the things I wanted to talk about now is that a vision board is a visual representation of things that you would like to see for yourself or the person that you would like to become. It is like a visual trigger of something. And when you think about pictures and visual representations of things, you can think as far back as the Egyptians and hieroglyphs. It was not just storytelling that they were doing with their pictures and their visuals. They were also creating intention. They were also setting intention. They were also giving commands. They were speaking to spirit world, to the universe, to the creator. They were creating their reality. So when you think of it in that way, visuals as a way of setting your intention is a tale as old as time. Now, things like your Instagram or your Facebook handle is actually a command for how you see yourself. So I see myself as royal. So like I said on Instagram, I go by It's Royal Lee. This is my intention for myself. This is how I want to represent myself. So that's the name that I gave myself. This is a visual representation of me. Now, when I talk about the Most High and the Creator of all things and the breath of life that runs through you and I and everything that's living, everything that's not living was created by us. Unless it was something that was given to us like minerals, crystals, those things were created by the Most High and they vibrate at an energy frequency that is able to either bounce off of or enhance our own. It's made of carbon just like you and I. All right, so the breath that we speak, the air, the words that we say, the things that we think, what we believe, these are also creating our reality. How does it create our reality? When you think of words like abracadabra, right? People think about magicians and magic shows and someone saying, appear, and then all of a sudden it happens. That's not actually how things are created. When you think about creation, creation happens silently. It happens confidently. And it happens where you can't necessarily see it with your visual eyes. When you plant a seed, you trust that that seed will grow if you put it in fertile soil and you give it water and you give it light. You trust that it will grow and eventually it does, but you don't see the seedling grow, right? That happens where you don't see it. When I say I'm going to the store, I've set my intention, I'm going to the store, I'm creating the reality that I am going to be living in. My reality is that I am going to the corner store. So everything that you say, everything that you think, because we're all protons, neutrons, electrons, that energetic signal is what tells your body to operate. You don't have to tell your brain to tell your heart to beat or to tell your lungs to expand. You don't have to tell your brain to tell your tongue to move and how to move so that you can create words and sound vibration. You think, the energy signal passes, and the action happens. There's other actions that happen without you actively willing it. That's done by energetic signal. And as I was talking about crystals and the energy that it vibrates and how we resonate with it, it's because we're all energetic beings. We're not the physical shell that you see. That's what people get attached to. But that's not who I am. You, we're all light beings, spiritual beings. We're all spirit. They refer to the soul and the spirit, and I can talk about those distinctions maybe another time so that this conversation stays kind of on track. But we're all light beings having a physical experience. The shell is my vehicle. But when the shell stops, because the universal breath that gave me life has vanished, I continue in another realm, in another existence. I continue without this body. Some of you may have loved ones that have passed on that you can feel around you. Sometimes you can smell their cologne. You might think about them and a light might flicker. That is because their spirit has continuity. So don't think about yourself as just the physical shell. You are a spirit that is connected to the creator of all things, and therefore, because the breath that created you is inside of you and keeps you alive, the breath that you speak, the things that you think, the things that you believe are also creating your reality. You are a co-creator in your reality. So you might ask, what does this have to do with vision boards? A vision board serves as a stimuli. It's a visual representation of the things that you would like to engage, the things you would like to become, the things that you would like to have, the things that you would like to do, the things you would like to achieve, that sort of thing. So that's what it has to do with vision boards. We're all connected, and that's why you're able to create your realities. Metaphysically, vision boards are a manifestation tool. It's a way of speaking intentionally what it is that you want, what you need, what you would like. The universe will then match that vibration. Now, when you think about things that you'd like to create, remember to be specific. I don't know if you've ever heard about the ability to hug a tree and to feel the tree's vibration, or if you've ever put your feet on the ground and felt just really calm because the vibration of the earth is kind of centering you. That's because you are creating that kind of metaphysical connection. But if you think about it, trees talk to each other. There is science and actual videos of trees that move. They move location. Slowly, but they move. Right? So if you think about how trees communicate and how animals communicate, they've slowed animal speech down, they've sped some up depending on the type of animals, and they all have a very similar frequency. When you think about things that basic, it means that your vision board has to be specific so that the universe knows what to respond to. I can say, I want a new car. But if I don't say, I want an Acura TLX, I could end up with a Toyota Camry. If I don't say, I want a 2024 Acura TLX, I could end up with a 2012 Acura TLX. Right? So you got to tell the universe exactly what it is you want so it knows what vibration to respond to. If I say, and I've done this before, I want a new job, but I'm not specific, That could be your intention because you don't want to pin yourself to something that may not actually be for you. So, in that sense, it's completely okay. I didn't know what I wanted when I did my vision board, my first one in 2021. I know what I wanted as a new job. I just knew I wanted a new job. And because I wanted a new job, I was open to anything. So I was not specific. And I would not lie to you, I did get a new job in 2022. And the job that I got was one that would have been nice, but it wasn't necessarily one I was aspiring to. It was in the department that I aspired to, right? I moved into policy work from social work. And that's exactly what I wanted, was to move into policy, which is great. But I didn't pin myself to a specific job title. And what that did for me was it left the door open for me to grow. So it is okay if you're open to the universe deciding, I want a new house. If you don't say where you want the house, how many bedrooms you want for the new house, because you're open to whatever is for you, that's fine. But if you know that you want something specific, don't say you want a man. You want a good man who's loyal, who is in love with you and treats you well and makes this, and be specific. Lives in Canada. You be specific if that's what your intention is, something very specific. All right. So that's the metaphysical aspect. You want to create a visual stimuli so that it speaks to your subconscious and so that your subconscious can work in tandem with your request to the universe, which I refer to as the Most High. However you speak of the Most High or the Creator or whatever you believe in doesn't matter to me, because like I said, to me, separation is an illusion. I don't believe there are thousands of gods out there. I believe there is one creator of all things that reveals itself to everyone in different ways that you can understand. Period. End story. That's my belief. Now you can do different types of vision boards. You don't have to just have one. I like to have one. But there's different types that you can have, and you can also do multiple vision boards. Some people like to be specific to the point where they have one vision board for their career, one vision board for their love life, one vision board for their personal life. It's completely up to you. For me, I like to do one vision board that covers all things. You can be very short term in your vision. So you can do 1 year at a time, you can do a couple months at a time, or you can do a long term vision board, which would be like a 5 year glance of things that you'd like to have in 5 years, for example. That's your choice. The flow and frequency of the vibration is usually more stable and uninterrupted. That's what I found when you do just one vision board with sections. Now, I'm a planner. One of the hats that I wear is in event planning. So I like to be very intentional in how I lay my things out. I don't go as specific as I want to manifest this in January and this in March and this in July, but I do have I'd like to have this first, and I'd like to have this second, and maybe this third, and then I'd like to have this fourth. I do lay it out with that intention in mind. You can look at things and decide that this fits today, but when you're complete with it, maybe you want to move it somewhere else. Maybe it doesn't fit your vision after all. I like to do these boards around this time of year because there's a new moon coming up on the 9th. And when I talk about us all being connected, we're not just connected in terms of people, we're connected to animals, we're connected to the elements, we're connected to what's happening in the sky, the sun and the moon. The moon affects people. And if you don't believe that, then you have to think about why they talk about it must be a full moon when a lot of odd things are happening, right? The moon actually has control over large bodies of water. And we're all, I think it's 70 or 80% water. So the moon does affect you as a person when it's full and when it's new. Its energy has a sway on your energy. And so New moons is when the moon is completely hidden in the sky. It looks like it's black, like there's no moon. It's actually new, it's brand new. And for me, that is a great time to set intentions I would like to have. And so I like to do vision boards or start them around the new moon. We're actually at the beginning of the new moon's energy. It's so funny because the new moon comes on December 12th, which is the 12/12 portal, the last of the synchronistic portals for the year. And it's a great time to manifest on 12/12 anyway, but that energy starts today. And so I figured, let's do it today. So you'll always see me doing vision board sessions where we start putting things together on the new moon. You'll want to try to have everything collected in terms of your thoughts and your intentions in order to do your releases on the full moon. Why do you release on the full moon? Because when the moon is full, its energy is full. And when something is full, it can't take anymore. And so you have to let something go. So that's why full moons are a great time for releasing things. So when you set your intentions, you have to write it or meditate on it if you're not going to write it. I like to write things down because it creates an extension of that energy and it creates a signature for that energy. So when I do my new moon intentions, I like to write down 3 to 5 things. Just keep it manageable, right? Next month is a whole new month. You can try something else. 3 to 5 things that I would like to do, see, achieve, or intend. But I also use the last new moon, as I mentioned, to get clear on how I would like to see my 2024 unfold. Now, things that you can do between now and the full moon. Some people like to do meditation, some like to do fasting, some like to do both. I don't like to pressure people to feel like they need to do meditation and fasting because it doesn't work for everybody. And to be quite truthful, it's not necessary for your vision board, but it is a good tool for you to get yourself centered so that you can create your intentions. Meditation doesn't have to be long. Meditation can be 30 seconds. Meditation is simply focus on something or nothing. Now, when I say something or nothing, you can meditate by being in stillness and thinking of nothing and allowing yourself to just be calm and centered. That is one form of meditation. For me, swimming is a meditation. Floating is a meditation. I like to float and just exist. It's a very freeing type of feeling. I feel very, very connected to source when I float and I think of nothing. Other than that, it's very hard for me to still my mind. So I do often meditate with music. The music can have words. Contrary to what you might think, it doesn't have to be like some 7 chakra bell ringing, sound bowl chiming, chanting. It doesn't have to be all of that. The music can have words. It can be your favorite song. You know, if you're in a vibe, you're in a connection, and you're able to get your energy into a high place, you are meditating. So long as you aren't in a space where you're thinking about a lot of random things, it can be seen as a meditation. For fasting, the reason why fasting is a good idea to help you along the way of setting your intentions, but also figuring out what you want to release before the 26th, is because when you fast, you take control of the vessel. You tell the vessel, we're not eating right now. You don't need to eat right when you feel like eating. You can tell self to wait. And the reason why you're doing this is because you are taking control, but you're also clearing space in your intestine. You're clearing space in your vessel for nothingness so that you can fill yourself entirely with your intention. Now, when things come up for you in terms of things that you might want to achieve or things that you might want to release, it's important that you are honest with yourself about what you are avoiding versus what you are having a boundary with. Now, something that I wanted to release personally was being late, always being late. And something that I had been avoiding was letting go of control. And I was also avoiding the planning part because I like to plan and I like to execute things very well, but that takes a lot of energy. So sometimes I just want to do things in my time. But what happens when you're late is that you impose yourself on someone else. You impose your lack of regard for time and planning on someone else. So you could affect someone else. You could miss something that you were supposed to experience or be on time for, right? There's lots of little implications to being late. So I had to look at myself and say, what am I avoiding here? How am I going to achieve this? Because being late isn't something that helps me in life. It actually hinders me in some ways. So I had to figure out what is it that I was holding on to or not willing to let go of that was contributing to me being late and not allowing me to kind of let go of this habit that doesn't serve me. So be honest with yourself when you're thinking of things that you want to release, whatever it is that you want to release, if it's a boundary that you have, if it's a trigger that you have, or something that you've been avoiding working on. You got to be honest with yourself if this is going to work. Now, the types of approaches to vision boards, there's two types of approaches. You can have an intentional approach where you look at magazines or you think about things that you want. I remember on one of my vision boards, and this didn't come true, and I think part of it is because I don't really feel worthy of it, but I don't have a 900 credit score, right? Like that was one thing that was on my vision board in 2021 that didn't come true. My credit did improve, but I don't have a 900, right? So you could look at things that you want to have, and you can intentionally select those things. You could put, people have put bills on their vision board. They've put coins. In one point in 2021, when I did my first one, I put a picture of a plane ticket down to the seat that I wanted to have. I put the destination on the plane ticket, like it was an actual plane ticket that I made, like a boarding pass. And that was on my vision board, right? You could have a picture of a car, you could have a picture of a house. You can be very intentional about the things that you want, and you can lay your vision board out like that. And as I mentioned earlier, for me, I want to achieve this first. I want to manifest this next. I want to manifest this third. So I lay my vision board out very, very intentionally. That's me. For some people, the other approach would be to do an intuitive vision board. That means after you do your meditation and you've centered yourself and your energy, you can just, as things come up, be like, yeah, I like that. I'm gonna take that and put it on my vision board. You might see something, you might hear a song on the radio, you might like a sentence in it, type that out, and boom, that goes on your vision board. So that is intuitive versus intentional. You can plan things out specifically and ahead of time and be like, I'm going to print this. I need this picture from this magazine. I need this sentence. I need this dollar bill, and put that on your vision board. Or you can just collect things as you go, throw a whole bunch of magazines that you haven't read into a pile, look through them, and whatever sticks out for you, you pick those. So those are the two different approaches to vision boards. Now, how you construct your vision board is up to you. You can do a poster board, like a Bristol board, or you can do a trifold board. My last one was trifold. That way I could fold it in and kind of tuck it away when company comes over. You can do a shadow box, which is like, if you haven't seen a shadow box before, it's like a picture frame, but it's got some depth to it. So kind of a picture frame like that, but it's got some depth where the glass is further away from the back so that you can put things in and kind of see them in there. You can do a cork board. You can do like a painting board. You can just tape or staple or affix things together however you want, and I call that freeform. That's generally how I do my vision boards now. I prefer to just, I grab whatever it is that I'm using, whatever mediums. If I'm putting on one of my vision boards, I had like fabric and Swarovski crystals because I wanted to do more decor work. So what I did is I just put all of the pieces that I wanted together, arranged the flow for how I would like to manifest them. I taped them together, and it was just those pieces taped together. However they flowed is however they flowed, and then I affixed that to my wall. One thing that you might want to do along with your vision board is to do a wish book. You don't have to, but you can. Now, a wish book is where you would document all of the things that you would like to achieve as they come up. So once you've done your vision board, that's it. But your wish book is like a running list of things that you would like to manifest alongside your vision. So you can keep that going throughout the year. You can do, there's an app, it's called Ponzu. So you can create that on your app, but you can also journal. Now, journaling is really great to accompany vision boards if you're one of those people who can remember to write in your journal. However, you want to write in it, the frequency is up to you. It can be daily, it can be whenever you think about it, it can be weekly or monthly. As long as you try to be consistent with it, that's fine. For me, finding times to write things down is not for me. Remembering to write things down isn't for me. The journals that I keep are vocal. Now, I keep a vocal journal on my phone. So if I dream something, I keep a voice note of what it was that I dreamt. And I will date the voice note. I'll say it's December 9th at 8:38 in the evening. And then I'll title it that. I'll save it that on my phone. I also do vocal journals for when I've achieved something that was on my vision board. I give gratitude, I give thanks, and I record that. And what happens for me when I do that, I don't know what type of phone you have, but I have an Android. What happens for me when I do that is that my vocal journals become part of my playlist. So when I'm listening to music and I have my phone on shuffle, sometimes things that I dreamt about, things that I spoke, things that I thought, things that came up for me, it comes up on my playlist and it gives me a chance to listen to it. And what that does for me is sometimes it gives me an opportunity to gain some clarity that I didn't have at the time. I remember I had a dream February 2nd, 2022. And I'll never forget it because the date was 2/2/2022. I had this dream and I did not understand the dream. Let me tell you, it was this year when I understood the dream fully. And it's because I still have that voice note, that vocal journal saved on my phone that I was able to listen back to it. And now that things that I had set down on my vision board as a manifestation have come to pass, I can look back in hindsight and say, that's what the dream was telling me. That dream was telling me that the universe was doing this. God is moving things in my favor. The universe is always conspiring in your favor. That's what people say. It's God is always conspiring in your favor. You just have to be willing to put in the work, and you have to be willing to separate yourself from the things that you need to separate yourself from. I was going to talk about this later, but I'll talk about it now since I just gave that little statement. What you are visioning for yourself, you have to see yourself there. But you also have to see yourself as the person who has that. You cannot bring everything that you are and that you have and everyone that is around you now into your new vision. Because sometimes those things, those behaviors, those people, those places, they don't fit that new vision. You've probably heard the most powerful prayer that you can say is, God, take away from me what is not for me and who is not for me. You need to be careful. You need to be, don't say that if you're not ready for your world to really change. When you ask God to take away who and what is not for you, it might be your sibling. It might be your close friend. It might be your partner. It might be your work bestie. You'd be damn surprised when you ask God to take away what is not and who is not for you, who it is that goes. When they go, you will mourn, but it is what it is. Because you cannot bring everything, every person, every habit into your new reality that you are creating for yourself. Sometimes they just don't fit. You might really like, I'll use myself, you might really like partying. Now, it's not necessarily the party that I really like. It's being with my friends and people that I love. It's music. It's feeling free. It's the ability to dress up and look nice and have a good time. I look forward to the food after. Right? So it might not necessarily be the club itself that you are looking forward to or that you really enjoy, but there is some aspect of it that you really like. But in your new reality, partying and all that it comes with may not fit. And again, keeping myself as an example, I applied for a management training program in the summer, and they were supposed to let people know who gets in. There's over 60,000 people who work at my company, and only 30 people get selected every year for this management training program. It's a series of steps that you have to go through. I applied in the summer. They're supposed to let people know who got in late October, early November. I just got the call on Thursday. So that would have been what? December 7th that I got accepted into this management program. Who's partying? I ain't got the time no more. I don't have the time anymore. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's something that I set for myself as an intention, something I wanted to manifest, something I wanted to see. So I have to be able to separate myself from things that aren't conducive to this new reality that I'm creating for myself, that God is fulfilling for me, right? And that's okay. I'm okay. I've done the partying thing, been there, done that. I can connect with my friends in a different way and have good time in a different way, and we can still eat. So, there's that. Once you've created your vision board, what do? Well, you put it where you can see it. I like to put mine in my room because my room is just for me. You want to put your vision board where you can see it every day. When you wake up, you see it. May not be the first thing that you see, but it's good if it's the first thing you see. So for a long time, my vision board and my bed were positioned so that the head of my bed was on this wall and the vision board was on this wall. So when I woke up, opened my eyes, it would be the first thing that I see. It's also the last thing I see before I shut my lights out and I go to bed. That works for me. As long as you see it in the morning before you start engaging with people, that place is great. So if it's in your bathroom, that's fine. As long as it's a place that you're going to see it, you put your vision board somewhere that you can see it. Remember, this is your subconscious stimuli. So you want to be able to see your vision, and you want to be able to see it clearly, unobstructed. I do encourage you to put it somewhere personal, not a high traffic area. And you might ask why that is. This vision board is your intention. It's your vision. It's your energetic command. Therefore, it is not for everyone. Why? Maybe, you live in a house with a couple of people. That's fine. But your vision is not for everyone because other people may think things about you or feel things about you that you don't necessarily recognize. They can cast an eye on your vision board that causes you to doubt your vision. It might cause you to want to change your vision. Or they can interrupt your vision because it's your vision, it's not theirs. There's stories about visions in the Bible that only one person has gotten and understands, or maybe one person can interpret. That person is on the same energetic level, right? So your vision board is for you. One thing that's important is that you believe it is done. If you put something on a board and you don't believe it's done or you don't believe you're worth it, there's no point in putting it on a board. Like me and my 900 credit score. I'm going to put something more realistic. Oh, is it? Sorry. I just found out the chat's disabled, which is probably why I haven't gotten any questions. So if there's anything you want to talk to me about, just DM me, call me after, and we'll talk. Sorry about that. My bad. But yes, you got to believe it. I need to either believe about my 900 credit score or bring it down to a number that I really actually believe I can achieve and I deserve and work with that. You've got to also know and believe that you're worthy. And I say know and believe that you're worthy because, like I said, you're not saying appear. You're not saying alakazam and telling something to happen. You are saying to yourself, I am wealthy. I have $50,000 in the bank. I can see $50,000 in the bank. I feel like someone who has $50,000 in the bank. I love that I have $50,000 in the bank. And I understand that I can manifest, attain, and keep $50,000 in the bank. You've got to say it and leave it and trust that it's done. That's how it works. When your manifestations come through, it is important to give thanks. It is important to give thanks. If you do not show gratitude for the things that God gives you, you can lose them. Manifesting it doesn't mean that you're going to keep it. You keep blessings by being grateful. How you express your gratitude is up to you. I like to express my gratitude verbally. When I'm gifted something that I said, God, this is what I want. When I get it, I'm loud about it. I don't tell the world, don't get me wrong, but I will do some shouting, some hollering, and some hollering, and some hollering and some yelling around my house. I'll be clapping, singing, praising, and giving thanks. And I will do something to express my gratitude in a physical way. So I will give something. I don't like to repeat the things that I do, but I will give you examples of how you can show gratitude through giving. You can donate clothes. You can donate food. You can give someone money, whether you know the person or not. You can express it through writing. You can leave a message somewhere. You can write a post, a note. You can do a story. However you want to physically, that gratitude has to leave you and go into the world. There needs to be a representation of that gratitude from you to the world. Because why? Because you're grateful for it, because it helps to reaffirm your belief in terms of your ability to co-create your reality. Gratitude also keeps blessings coming. So you don't just show gratitude because you want more. You show gratitude because it's important, because it's one of the foundations of how you're supposed to operate. Be grateful, right? So when you're doing things like affirmations as you go through your day, because you're putting your vision board on the wall, you're trusting God that these are things that will come to pass in 2024, or maybe they'll come to pass a little bit beyond that if it's something that takes a little bit more work and massaging to achieve. If you're a person who does affirmations, I just want you to remember that you are more than I am affirmations. I am affirmations are great. Don't get me wrong. Some of my designs in clothing that I don't do clothing anymore, but when I did do clothing, my designs focused on I am because those are things that people understand. It's very easy to digest, it's very easy to accept, but don't get stuck in I am affirmations. It's great to do root work. I am is connected to your root chakra. It's great to do root work, but you need to work on all of your chakras so that your energy flows. Because when your energy flows, it's easier to manifest. When there's no blockages, when something isn't overactive or underactive or completely blocked, when energy is able to flow, it is easier for you to manifest. It is easier for your light body to attract the things that you would like to attract. So the root says, and I'll use wealth and abundance as an example. The root says, I am wealthy, I am abundant. When you move up, your next chakra, your sacral chakra says, I feel wealthy and abundant. When you move up to your solar plexus says, I do not chase, I attract wealth and abundance. Because remember, solar plexus, that's your yellow chakra that deals with worthiness, your belief that you deserve. You move to your heart chakra. Your heart chakra says, I love wealth and abundance. You move to your throat chakra, and your throat says, I speak wealth and abundance into existence. You command it, you breathe it, you say it. Your third eye chakra says, I see wealth and abundance all around me. And your crown chakra says, I understand that wealth and abundance is easy to attract and maintain. So that was how you do all your affirmations. That should be how you do all your affirmations. Whatever it is that you're trying to affirm, I am powerful, I am confident. I feel powerful and confident. I do not chase power and confidence. That's me. That is already me. I love power and confidence. You have a good relationship with it. I speak power and confidence into existence. I see power and confidence all around me. And I understand that power and confidence is something that is attainable and I can have it. So that was all I had to say about vision boards. I hope that helps to get you started. I can tell you about some of the things that I've put on my vision board that have come to pass from 2021, 2022. This will be my third one. In no way am I a master at vision boards, but I've done them successfully. And all this is an attempt for me to share the knowledge that I've gained and also an opportunity for me to give witness to the power of vision boards. I can tell you that when I did my first vision board, one of the things I had on there was a car because I needed a new car. As I mentioned, I had my 900 credit score. I had my boarding pass to Montego Bay, Jamaica. And at the time, I had not traveled to Jamaica since 2013 when my grandfather died. I had a new employee badge on there, and I had a house. It wasn't a brand new house, but I had a house on there, a full house with the driveway. Now, I got the new car. That was the first thing that happened in 2022, because I did this December 2021. I got the new car. So I was able to get rid of my Malibu, and I was actually able to gift a young person that vehicle who needed the car. So that was nice. I mentioned the house. So I haven't moved. I'm still in the same house. However, I got my driveway redone that year. And just because I hadn't really I look at the board, but I don't really too like fixate on it. I just kind of look at it every morning. Or, I see it. I can't help but see it. I didn't realize when I got my driveway redone, my driveway looks exactly like the driveway that was on my vision board in 2021 going into 2022. Exactly how I got it redone is down to the border of my driveway with the French exposed granite. It's the same. It like eerily, it is the exact same as what was on my vision board. The 900 credit score, I improved my credit score, but like I said, it's not 900. I ended up going to Montego Bay that April. So I got the car in February, went to Jamaica in the April. And it's like those things were side by side on the vision board. And like I said, I hadn't been to Jamaica before this since 2013. Not only did I go to Jamaica, but I went and I didn't spend any money on the ticket. I was gifted a free ticket to Jamaica. I had the new employee badge. I got a new job that June. I had been applying to jobs, stuck in the same position since 2006. That June, I got a new job. Since that job, I am on my third new job since June of last year. So when I tell you these things work, I'm not just telling you they work because I want you to try it. I'm telling you they work because I want you to experience what it is that I've experienced and what other people who have done vision boards have experienced. I give so much thanks to God that God has opened doors, and the timing of these doors opening, I know it could only be God. It could only be God because I am with ease moving through the things that I asked God for. And my subconscious is working, whether I think about it consciously or not, my subconscious is working to align my steps and allow me to experience what it is the Creator has in store for me. God did not create us to suffer. We were created to live life and to live it abundantly. Suffering comes from other people's will and they're taking advantage and they're exploiting, and that's a whole other conversation. But the point is, anything that you want, you can have. And not only can you have it, you can have it with ease by creating your visual representation for your subconscious to work towards, and for you to have a remembrance, something that will remind you daily what it is that you've asked God to give you, and for you to believe that it is done. And then when you get it, it is a reminder, let me give thanks for this. Because last year when I did this, I didn't know this was going to happen. So thank you for tuning in. It's 9 o'clock. I'm going to let you all go. If you have any thoughts, you're welcome to leave your comments below. Send me a DM, call me, text me, however you want to reach me if you want to talk further. And if there's things that I didn't explain well that you'd like me to flesh out, feel free to leave me that type of feedback also, and I'd be happy to explain further or to have more conversation on it. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you another time.